West Coast Conference. Santa Clara facing Gonzaga.
We welcome you to the Jenny Craig Pavilion here in San Diego, California. Championship week presented by 7-Up continues. Tonight it's the West Coast Conference title game. Last night, two wild semifinals. Number 1 seed Gonzaga down 14 in the first half. Rallies to beat San Diego. Number 3 Santa Clara down by 13 with 10 minutes to go. Rallies to knock off Pepperdine. Welcome everybody, along with Reggie Theus. I'm Chris Marlowe. Gonzaga, we expected to be here. Elite 8 2 years ago, Sweet 16 last time around. Another good club this year. The surprise is Santa Clara got off to a bad start, lost 6 of its first 10 games, rallied. Now it's playing very well. Let's talk about the stars. First, Gonzaga's Casey Calvary.
I tell you what, they fear this guy. He had 29 points in their first meeting this year. This is a guy that's gotten better in every year. He's gotten better in a different position. Now he can start the game in the post and end up on the three-point line. They like the way he plays, so much so there's 9 scouts out here tonight watching him. Now, of course, Brian Jones on the other end, he's a strong guy. When he came to Santa Clara, he wanted to make the big dance. This is his last chance. He's going to have a hard time with Dick out.
Santa Clara is undefeated, 6-0 with this lineup, which inserted the freshman sensation Kyle Bailey for Brian Vaca. Meanwhile, Gonzaga has won 18 of its last 19. Keep your eye on Dan Dickow. His coach, Mark Few, says he is one of the best point guards on the West Coast. Mark Few is in his second year. He was just named the West Coast Conference Coach of the Year, 26-9 a year ago, and a Sweet 16 appearance. Set, ready to go. Santa Clara in the maroon uniforms. Gonzaga in one. Don't call them Gonzaga or you'll get in trouble. They're the Zags from Gonzaga.
We write that down.
Santa Clara a little bit more deliberate. This is Brian Jones. He's got a good look, and he gives the Broncos the early lead.
You told me before the game, this is his big chance. This is the way he's got to come out and play. He had a huge game last night versus Pepperdine in the second half, so he's coming out firing again tonight.
Gonzaga averages about 83 points a game, the highest scoring team in the West Coast Conference. Here's Step. He's a freshman. Cavalry can shoot the 3. On the year, he's about 40%, which is good for a big guy. Dickow. Penetration, dishes off Gord, and we're tied at 2. Zach Gord, a sophomore from Vancouver. Man-to-man defense. You'll see that at least to start from both teams, Reggie.
Well, you know, man-to-man is where they want to start. We'll probably see some 2-3 zone from Gonzaga pretty soon. And, of course, they're going to change the game. But when you talk about Santa Clara, they're so fearful of their post game that they're going to come down early and some big, big plays.
Three-pointer. Steve Ross converting, and it's 5-3 Santa Clara early. Santa Clara known for getting off to slow starts, been behind in a lot of ball games this year.
But Chris, so important for them to shoot the ball well tonight because they typically are a very poor shooting team.
Dickow got it. He had 39 in the last meeting between these two teams. It was a loss. 31 in the second half. Reggie Theus numbers.
But you know what? He can get them all over the floor, but what he does best is make the other players better, just like John Stockton did for Gonzaga a long time ago. Tremendous
history of point guards for Gonzaga. Of course, Matt Santangelo was the key figure on those tournament teams. That is Jamie Holmes, a senior from Merced, getting his first bucket.
And how about the team that's not supposed to be the shooters come out 3 for 3 from the perimeter?
Both teams red hot to open it up. Broncos 7, Zags 5. Stephen Bailey, that's a great freshman matchup. Cavalry for 3. Rebound Spink, and it was taken away by Holmes. You won't see Santa Clara break too much, Reggie.
No, they're not going to break a whole lot. Yeah, as you said, they're a pretty deliberate team, but they got some guys that can get it done. They're a defense-oriented team, and they have to really rely on that tonight.
Brian Jones, 2 for 2. He's a senior from Carson, California. Played his high school ball at Banning, a football school. Dickow right back. And the rebound by Emsley. 9-5 Broncos early. Fast pace. You would think would favor Gonzaga. Brian Jones again. Yes!
Chris, when you talk about the last chance, when you talk about what this game means to this senior, he's coming out and letting him feel the way he feels. He wants this game.
Santa Clara hasn't been in the NCAA tournament since '96 as Dickow converts. He's shooting 47% from three. That's his 58th make this year.
And he's got such a beautiful jump shot. Fades back a little bit, but he's certainly got the step back down.
Both keeps lining it up. Santa Clara perfect. Gonzaga's made half its shots. Great start to the West Coast Conference title game. Brian Jones, heat check. Brian Jones.
Oh, my kind of game. Get him up.
Jones has got 9 early. Spank in traffic. Taken away. Broncos 14, Zags 8.
Solid defense right there, plugging up the middle, not letting anything happen. Everything from the perimeter right now.
Jones for 3. In and out. He finally missed one. Rebound pops right out. Brian Jones. Jamie Holmes gets the jumper. Whoa, Santa Clara blazing. Normally they shoot about 40% on the season, Reggie. That ball tossed out of bounds. Their three-point shooting is worse, 29%, but they are lighting it up here early.
Still, a lot of people think that it's really hard to play when you played last night late. They just carried it over. They're lighting it up from threes deep in this game, all over.
We'll be back. Santa Clara by 8. Chris Marlowe, Reggie Theus back at the West Coast Conference Championship game. Santa Clara blazing from the field. Brian Jones hot last night. He's continued at 4 out of 5. Santa Clara 7 of 8, Reggie.
Well, I tell you what, Brian Jones, you gotta know this guy's ready. Dick's gotta like that start, especially when a team, he told us that wasn't a very good shooting team, and that's what he worried about most. They have come out blazing tonight.
Dick Davey, the West Coast Conference's winningest active coach. Here's Jones.
Look at the aggressiveness, Chris. I don't mind that. Even if you miss the shot, you put the pressure on the defense.
Give Zach Gord the block. Step to Spank. And Spank flushes it. He was a reserve last year. He's a senior, an emotional player, and a tremendous defender.
Well, he is definitely an emotional player. He's the guy that they count on to give him a little spark every now and then. Physical talent. That's what they like about it.
This is Kyle Bailey, and Bailey hits. Bailey into the lineup for Vaca. What has that given them?
Well, obviously, he's a more all-around player than Vaca, and what that does, it allows Jones to go over and play 2-guard. That really has opened the game up. That's why they won 6 in a row since he got to the lineup.
Bailey got a 3, so it's 19 to 10. The biggest lead. Santa Clara, you'll see them mostly man-to-man. Dickow stripped, and here comes Kyle Bailey. Runner-up for Freshman of the Year in the West Coast Conference. The man who beat him out is playing opposite him. Blake Stepp. A long jumper off the mark. Holmes. And Jones. You know, this Brian Jones, if you haven't seen him, he is one of the best all-around players in the country. He does so much for his team.
When you look at his size and his strength, you see his effort. He's one of the best rebounding guards in the nation. When you look at it, what he can do underneath the basket. Right here, look at him go up with the big guys and fight for the rebound, obviously. Get the and one almost.
First foul on Zach Gord. Brian Jones, the first player in West Coast Conference history to score 1,500 points, 500 rebounds, and dish out 500 assists.
All-around player.
Right, and he is 35 points, Reggie, away from Santa Clara's all-time scoring leader. And you know who that is, don't you?
Steve Nash.
No. Superman. Kurt Rambis.
Oh, Kurt Rambis.
He broke Nash's assist record last night.
Wait a minute, I didn't think Kurt could score unless he was getting the ball from Matt.
Rambis used to be a scorer, Reg.
Actually, Kurt Rambis played with my cousin, Londell Theus, back in the day.
One of the great teams.
And he didn't pass the ball either. I wonder where he got that from.
Jones has 10. The Broncos have doubled the Zags. And we've got a holding foul inside. The first foul of the game committed just a moment ago. And here will be number 2.
Charge number 45, Jim Howell.
Jim Howell collects